All right, so please make sure to follow the instructions that you now see on the board. You need to get in rhythm and turn in your cell phone for first period. Go to the bathroom if the sub allows you to do bathroom break. If not, you'll go one at a time and take the blue hall pass. Turn in your homework or any missing work into the bucket. Sharpen your pencil or borrow one from the pencil parking, but make sure that you put it back if you borrow one from the pencil parking lot. So our objective today, I can write equations and solve word problems for dividing whole numbers and unit fractions. I can write equations and solve word problems for dividing whole numbers and unit fractions. So basically what we're going to be doing today is kind of like what we did yesterday. We're going to be working on writing those word problems and solving them. We're just going to skip over this. Okay, so the sub should have passed out to you by now. And if he did not, then please ask him for the paper. But you should have a paper that up at the top says together during video. So if you do not have a paper that says together during video, somebody raise your hand and let the sub know that y'all need this paper. You need the one that says together during video. Okay, so let's look at problem 1. Problem 1 says, a baker is making croissants. He has 18 pounds of dough. Each croissant is made from 1/8 pound of dough. How many croissants can he make? Let's read that again. A baker is making croissants. He has 18 pounds of dough. Each croissant is made from 1/8 pound of dough. How many croissants can he make? Okay, well, the first thing that I want to ask myself is, do I know a total? Okay, do I know my total? Well, yes, I do know my total. My total is 18 pounds of dough. And what am I going to do with those 18 pounds of dough? I'm going to make 1/8 groups. So I'm splitting it into groups of 1/8. So I would be doing 18 divided by 1/8. Now, because this is a word problem, that means that we need to complete the read, draw, write process. So I already read my problem. Now I need to draw. What can I draw? You already know. A strip diagram. Well, number 9. So if you're number 9, I want you to think about the answer in your head. You don't have to say it out loud. Okay, so how many boxes do I need? Not 18. Okay, and then what would I need to do next, number 9? I need to split each one into 8 boxes. Okay, so what Miss P is going to do is I'm going to draw a bigger box down here so that you can actually see, because if I split this little box into 8 pieces, you're not going to really be able to see what I did. So I'm going to split it into 8 pieces. Okay, so I'm taking the 18 and I'm splitting it into 8 pieces. So really, each of those 18 pounds now has 8 smaller pieces to go with it. So for the multiplication, 18 divided by 1/8, I can do 18 times 8. Well, 8 times 8 is 4, carry the 6. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6 more is 14. So my answer would be they can make 144 croissants. Now I would check my work with multiplication. So my answer was 144. I do 144 times 1/8, which would be 144 over 8, but that is an improper fraction. So I would divide. How many times can 8 go into 1? 0. How many times can 8 go into 14? 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. Bring down the 4. How many times can 8 go into 64? 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 minus 64 is 0. So 144 eighths is equal to 18 wholes. Does that match what I started with? Yes. So I know I did it correct. So I did my draw and I solved it. Now I need to write my answer in a complete sentence. So in a complete sentence, you would write, the baker can make 144 croissants. The baker can make 144 croissants. I completed the read, draw, write process. Let's go to problem 2. Problem 2 says, the kitchen assistant is helping the chef to serve soup. The chef made 3 pots of soup, and the assistant is putting 1/16 cup of cream on top of the soup in each bowl. If there are 12 cups of cream, how many bowls of soup can the assistant help prepare? The kitchen assistant is helping the chef to serve soup. The chef made 3 pots of soup, and the assistant is putting 1/16 cup of soup on the top of the soup in each bowl. There are 12 cups of cream. How many bowls of soup can the assistant help prepare? Well, again, I've got to complete that read, draw, write process since it's a word problem. I did read, now I need to draw. However, what I noticed in this problem is that there are 3 pieces of information. 3 pots of soup, 1/16 cup of cream, and 12 cups of cream. Well, there's one piece of information that I don't need. And that piece of information that I don't need is the 3 pots. Okay? So let's look at it. Did they tell me my total? Number 16. Did they tell me my total? Yes, they did tell me my total. My total is 12. And then I am splitting that into what, number 16? I am dividing that into 1/16 groups. So I need to do 12 divided by 1/16. Now let's create our model. So in my strip diagram, number 1, how many groups do I need? My total is 12, so I need 12 groups. Actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to make my groups bigger since I have more room. So there's my 12 groups. Yeah. So now what do I need to do? Number 1. Very good. I need to divide each one into 16 groups. Well, again, if I do that right there, you're not really going to be able to tell what I'm doing. Okay, so here is my one box. I just made it bigger, and I would split it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's 16 groups. Well, so that means that each of these 1 cups of cream now has 16 little parts to it. So to figure out my answer, what I really can do is 12 times 16. I'm going to start off doing 12 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Put the placeholder 0. Now I'm going to move on to the 12 and the 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. I can add them together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. And 1. So he can make 192. But am I done? I did finish my picture and I did solve, but am I done? No, let's go back and check our work. So I'm going to do 192 because that's the answer that I got, times 116. That would be 192 over 16. If I divide, how many times can 16 go into 1? 0. 1 is too small. How many times can 16 go into 19? 1. 1 times 16 is 16. 19 minus 16 is 3. Bring down the 2. How many times can 16 go into 32? 2. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 minus 32 is 0. Since I have 0 as my remainder, I know that it's a whole number. So 192 over 16 is equal to 12 wholes. Does that match what I started with? Yes. So in a complete sentence, I would write, the assistant can prepare 192 bowls of soup. The assistant can prepare 192 bowls of soup. I completed the read, draw, write process, so I'm ready to go to the next one. Okay, problem 3 says, according to the food label on a box of cookies, each box has 16 servings, and each serving contains 4 cookies. The weight of the box of the cookies is half of a kilogram. What is the weight of each cookie? What is the weight of each cookie? So I know that according to the food label on a box of cookies, each box has 16 servings and each serving contains 4 cookies. The weight of the box of cookies is half a kilogram. What is the weight of each cookie? Okay, so now I need to complete the read, draw, write process. I read the problem. Okay, do I know my total? I'm going to ask myself, do I know my total? Number 7, do I know my total? Yes, I do know my total. My total is half of a kilogram. And I am dividing that half of a kilogram by all of the cookies. But do I know the total number of cookies? No, I don't. But I can figure that out. How I would figure out how many cookies there are is by multiplying the 16 servings that are in a box and the 4 cookies that are in one serving. So if I did 16 times 4, 16 times 4, 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So I'm dividing my total, the half of a kilogram, by 64. Okay? Figured out my problem. Now it is time to draw my strip diagram. Okay? So, let's see. Who's going to help me with this one? Number 3. Number 3 is going to help me with this one. So I have, how much did I start with? I have a half. My total is a half. So on half of, I'm going to draw, split it into 2. And because it's the fraction first, I'm going to draw diagonal lines on half of the pieces. Or one of the 2 pieces. Okay, now what would I do next, number 3? I am going to split them into 64 groups. Now this would take too long, so Miss P is going to start the dot dot lines, then I'm going to do the dot dot dot, 64, keep going, keep doing the dotted lines. So that you see that there would be 64 groups in there, Miss P just doesn't have the room to draw 64 boxes. But if I do it to the side with the diagonal line, do I have to do it to this side over here? Yes, I do. So I'm going to do the dot, dot, dot line. I'm going to do the dotted line. Then I'm going to do dot, 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 64. And do a few more dotted lines. So that you see that there's 64 pieces on this one and 64 pieces on this one. Well, now I need to know what my fraction is. So I need to know how many are colored, or that diagonal line. Well, it would be 64 out of how many total pieces? Well, if there's 64 on the one with the diagonal line and 64 on the one without the diagonal line, together that means that there is 4 plus 4 is 8, 6 plus 6 is 12, so it would be 64 divided by 100, or 64 over 128, and I'm going to divide that by 64. So if I take these 64 128s and I divide them by 64, what would my answer be? 128. So each cookie is worth 1/128th of a kilogram. But am I done? Nope, I did complete my draw, but now I've got to check my work. So I got an answer of 101 over 128, and I'm going to times that by 64. And if I do 1 and 128 times 64, that would be 64 over 128. Okay, what can they both be divided by? 64. 64 divided by 64 is 1. 108 divided by 64 is 2. Does it match what I started with? Yes. So I know that I got it correct. So in a complete sentence, I would say the weight of each cookie is 128 kilograms. The weight of each cookie is 1 over 128 kilograms. Okay, guys, I know that these numbers are a little bit bigger than what we've been using in class, but the way that we solve the problem is the exact same. Let's go to problem 4. We're halfway done, guys, halfway done. Okay, question 4 says, Grandma made an apple pie. Josh and his brother finished 4/5 of it. Then 3 friends came over and shared the leftover pie. How much pie did each friend get? Okay, again, the problem says Grandma made an apple pie. Josh and his brother Joe finished 4/5 of it. Then 3 friends came over and shared the leftover pie. How much of the pie did each friend eat? So again, we need to figure out our problem. But first I'm kind of going to talk about this because it says they ate some and leftover. So number 13, let's go ahead and draw a strip diagram. Okay? Or actually, you know what? I'm going to make it even easier and I'm going to do a circle since it's a pie. Okay, so here's my pie, and number 13, what did it tell me about my pie? Well, yes, it told me that Josh and his brother ate 4/5 of it. So my pie, I'm going to do my best to make 5 pieces. That's pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to X out 4 of the 5 pieces because that's the part that Josh and them ate. And so this leftover pie right here is what the 3 friends shared. So what is my total number 18? What's my total? 1/5, because that's how much of the pie was left. 1/5. And I'm going to divide that into what? 3, because he's sharing it with his 3 friends. So I'm doing 1/5 divided by 3. So I read the problem. Now let's draw. For my strip diagram, what would I do? Number 14. I need 5 pieces for 1/5. And how many get the zigzag line? 1. Okay. Now what am I going to do? Number 13. Divide them into 3. But do I just do that for this one? No, I do that for all of them. So now I don't have 1/5. How many have that diagonal line? 3 out of 15. So now I'm doing 3/15 divided by 3. And if I do 3/15 divided by 3, that is 1/15. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a diagonal line going the other direction on 1/15. I forgot to do that one on the last one, but there were 64 pieces, so forgive me. Okay, so my answer would be 1/15. But I got to go back and check my work. I'm done with draw though. So I got 1/15, so I would do 1/15, and I check it with multiplication times 3. Well, 1/15 times 3 is 3/15. Can I simplify it? Yes, they both can be divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Does that match what I started with? Yes, so I know I did it correct. So in a complete sentence, I would write each friend gets 1/15 of the pie. Each friend gets 1/15 of the pie. Okay, we're moving right along on problem 5. Okay. Let's read the next one. Each batch of cupcake mix requires 1/3 of a cup of milk. According to the recipe, the batch can make 12 small cupcakes or 8 large cupcakes. If Emma makes a batch of large cupcakes, how much milk is used for each cupcake? Ooh, well, right away when I notice, if I look at the question, it says if Emma makes a batch of large cupcakes. So what does that tell me? If Emma makes a batch of large cupcakes, how much milk is used for each one? Number 4, what does that tell me? Very good. It tells me I don't need this small cupcakes number, because did the question ask me about small cupcakes? No. It's just extra information to confuse you. So let's complete the read, draw, write process. So we read our problem. Let's figure out our problem that we're trying to solve. Number 7, do I know my total? Yes, I do. It is 1/3 a cup of milk. And I am dividing that into how much, number 7? Very good. 8 large cupcakes. So if I do 1/3 divided by 8, 1/3 divided by 8, what would my strip diagram look like for that problem number 4? Very good. I need 3 pieces because I have 1/3. So I'm going to draw the zigzag line on 1/3 of them. Okay, now what am I going to do, number 7? Very good. Split it into 8 pieces. So I split it into 8 pieces. Now, is there just 1/3 that has the zigzag line? No. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the pieces out of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now 8 24ths is what's being divided by 8. And 8 24ths divided by 8 is 1 24th. So in one of the 24 pieces, I would draw the diagonal lines going the other way. It's kind of hard to tell because it's so small, but that's okay. So 1 24th is my answer. However, I'm not done. I did do the draw, but now I've got to check my work. So I would do 1 24th times 8. 1 24th times 8 would be 8 24ths. Can it be simplified? Yes, they can both be divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Does that match what I started with? Yes. So I know I got it correct. So in a complete sentence, I would say each cupcake has 1/3. No, I'm sorry, not 1/3. That was where I checked my answer. 1 24th cup of milk. Each cupcake has 1 24th cup of milk. Each cupcake has 1 24th cup of milk. Okay. Last problem. Whew. Last problem. It says Olive used half of a pound of peppers and 1/15 pound of cheese to make 3 pizzas. If she used the same recipe to make 5 pizzas, how much cheese is needed? Let's read that problem again. Olivia used half a pound of peppers and 1/15 pound of cheese to make 3 pizzas. If she used the same recipe to make 5 pizzas, how much cheese is needed? Ooh, there's something that is standing out to me right away. What do you notice, number 5? Very good. Just like with the last one, the question is asking me about cheese. So that means I don't need the half a pound of peppers because my question did not ask me about peppers. That is extra information that they put in there just to confuse you. Don't let it. Okay, so what is my total? 1/15 is my total because that's the amount of cheese. And I am dividing that by 3 pizzas. So I would do 1/15 divided by 3 pieces. Now we're going to draw our picture. So for my strip diagram, what would I do, number 2? Very good, I need 15 pieces. There's 15 pieces. And I would put a diagonal line on 1 of the 15 pieces. Now what do I need to do, number 2? Very good. Split them into 3. But if I split 1 into 3, then I've got to split all of them into 3. Whew, I split all of them into 3. So now I don't just have 1/15 that are colored with the diagonal line. I have 3 out of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45. I could have counted them by ones, but it's easier to skip count. So it'd be 3 out of 45. I also could have used multiplication. So I'm going to do 3/45 divided by 3, and 3/45 divided by 3 would be 1/45. So my answer is 1/45. I'm going to draw a diagonal line going the opposite way on 1 out of the 45 pieces. You can't tell, but there is one piece that has the crisscross lines. But am I done? Nope, because now I got to check my work. So I'm going to do 1/45 times 3. 1/45 times 3 is 3/45. But can it be simplified? Yes, they both can be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Does that match what I started with? You betcha, so I know I got it correct. However, I'm not done, because did the question ask me how much cheese was on each pizza? No. This one says if she used the same recipe to make 5 pizzas, how much cheese was needed? Well, I know that 1/45 is on 1 of the pizzas, but I'm making 5. So I'm going to draw a new strip diagram. How many pizzas do I have? 5. So I'm going to make 5 boxes. And how much cheese is on each pizza? 1/45. So I'm going to write 1/45 on each of my pieces. I am trying to figure out my answer for the total of how much cheese is on the 5 pizzas. So I would need to do 5 times 1/45. Well, 5 times 1/45 is 5/45. Can it be simplified? Yes, they can both be divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So my answer would be 1/9. In a complete sentence, I would write the 5 pizzas will need 1/9 pound of cheese. The 5 pizzas will need 1/9 pound of cheese. Okay, you really have to watch in all of these problems for the numbers. A lot of them will give you 3 numbers, but not all of them I used the 3 numbers. Or did I use, sometimes they gave me 4 or 5 and I didn't use them all. You have to read the question. Any numbers in the question, I'm going to use, because that's the question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But then I have to look at the question and figure out, are those other numbers extra information? And if they're extra information, then I cross it out because I don't need it. It's just put there to confuse me. But I have to look at the question, look at what I'm trying to figure out, and ask myself, do I need all of this? And if you don't, cross it out. But sometimes I did need those extra numbers. So you got to pay attention because sometimes I do, okay? The sub will now give you the paper that says problem set, and you will work on the problem set until the last 10 minutes of class. Okay, so for my first period at 8:58, and for my second period at 11:28, the substitute will give you the exit ticket. At 8:58 and at 11:28, if they do not give you the exit ticket, ask for it, because this will be a part of your grade for the week. You'll have the last 10 minutes to complete the exit ticket, and then make sure that you get the homework. Okay, I am telling you in the video that you need the homework. So if you leave class without it, telling me, Miss B, the sub didn't give us the homework, is not going to be an excuse, because I'm telling you to ask for the homework. Okay, here's your homework. So you'll do the problem set, your exit ticket, and your homework. But if you followed along with me during the video, then you can use what we did together in the video on your paper to help you, okay? Or you can go back and watch the video to help you. I will be back later today for a little bit of AI in my third period. If you have any questions, you can ask me then. Bye, guys. Oh, also, be on your best behavior. I've left $5 and told the sub that he can give you a $5 bill if he sees exceptional behavior, amazing behavior. So make good choices.